that an important chapter in royal history came to a close with the death of Queen Elizabeth II. The king was 96 years old and died of old age at Balmoral Castle, according to his death certificate. That his health was failing had been obvious for some time, but it was still a shock. In a TV documentary to air in late 2023, Princess Anne revealed that her mother was worried about dying at Balmoral because she thought it might make things more difficult. The protocol for Her Majesty's departure had been developed for decades, and the death in Scotland would add to the commotion of the ceremonial journey back to London. But the family stepped in to ensure a peaceful ending, and in many ways the privacy of the Queen's Scottish retreat, Balmoral, was perfect. According to royal biographer Robert Hardman, she took to her bed the morning after Liz Truss was appointed Prime Minister, and a staff member said at the time that people were still thinking in terms of days rather than hours. Eventually only Charles and Anne made it to his bedside to say their last goodbyes, and while the rest of the family hightailed it to Scotland, there was a 3-hour and 20-minute gap when the House of Windsor announced the news privately. Could have been sad before sharing. The Queen of the World was dead. Long live King Charles III. The monarchy is occupied 365 days a year. It doesn't stop because you change monarchs for whatever reason, Princess Anne noted. However, everything was about to change. A fact that no one dares to talk about. If the secret to kingdom success is stability and the assurance that comes with it, which it is, then it's fair to say that the first year was a good one. Yes, there were ripples, the deepening rift between Prince Harry and the family, Prince Andrew's exile, but for the most part the evolution of the Caroline era was dignified and stable. Queen Elizabeth's funeral proved to be celebratory rather than mournful, a lavish tribute to a life of service. When the imperial state crown was removed from her casket, Anne said she felt rather strangely relieved. Somehow it's done, it's over. The responsibility was planned to pass on to the coronation of King Charles, a well-choreographed juxtaposition of tradition with a flash of modernity, pulling the monarchy ever so gently. It was hanging on something old. In the months that followed, the king's commitment to his mother's commitment to serving and supporting the monarchy in Britain remained steady at around 60%. He also continued his dedication to pressing issues, climate change, interfaith harmony, and began the difficult task of acknowledging historical colonial shame in Commonwealth countries. But 2024 has seen the family in turbulent and choppy waters. Charles's reign was always shorter than his mother's, but as the 75-year-old monarch continues to undergo cancer treatment, the future looks painfully fragile. It's a fact no one dares to talk about, and one the monarch is certainly struggling with as he juggles as many commitments as his doctors allow and plans for his and Queen Camilla's royal tour of Australia in October. Continues rapidly.